Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Wajahat. Today we are going to do an in-depth guide into an asset that I've been looking at for a long time. Today we are covering Polygon. We're going to cover everything that you probably need to know about Polygon at the moment, and we're going to go over some of the bull and bear cases in my opinion. So consider this a complete overview. If you're not familiar with Polygon, this is something that I think you're really going to benefit from. So it's a long video. Sit down, grab a pen and paper, make some notes if you need to, get a cup of tea, and sit back and relax, because we're going to go in depth. And I've got a long presentation today. I think this is 40 plus slides. So yeah, have a look in the description below. I'll leave timestamps so you can navigate to whichever part of the video suits you. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. We're going to cover a lot of things today. We're going to cover, first of all, what Polygon actually is, some of its core fundamentals, of course, some of the metrics as well on chain regarding Polygon wallets and things like that, the partnerships that Polygon have created, an overview of the DeFi environment, NFTs on Polygon, tokenomics, and some of the bear cases as well. So a long one today. We've got lots and lots of slides to get through, so yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Now, the first thing that I kind of wanted to explain is Polygon's actual architecture. Polygon complements Ethereum in a lot of ways, and that's because of the way that its architecture is. Essentially, there's 4 layers to Polygon. The first layer being the Ethereum layer. That is where Polygon smart contracts are deployed. This is an optional layer, it's not mandatory as part of Polygon's architecture. Second layer, the security layer, is also optional. It's where finality, disputes, messaging, that sort of stuff happens. The third layer is the actual Polygon network layer. That's where transaction collation, block production happens. And then the last layer, the execution layer. That's pretty much where, the execution of your transactions, whether they're on your applications, NFTs, whatever, that sort of stuff happens. That's essentially Polygon's architecture. And in order to enable this, they've got a variety of scaling solutions, which I think is important to understand to really comprehend how much Polygon can scale over time. Now, at the moment, they only have 2 of these scaling solutions live at the moment. They have the Polygon that we are very familiar with, the one, the solution that we use all the time with your MetaMask or Frame or Rabi wallet, whichever one you use. All of those applications and NFTs and stuff that you see on Polygon live at the moment comes from Polygon Proof of Stake, which is an EVM compatible side chain. So that's the Polygon that we use right now. They also have Polygon Supernets, which again we're going to talk about. These 2 are the only 2 live solutions. Everything else is in development, and we're going to briefly talk about each of them because they are really interesting, and I think once they do go live, we'll see lots of new stuff coming to Polygon, really, or coming from Polygon, I should say. Here's a picture that I found online, which basically just shows some of the different solutions that Polygon have. Polygon SDK refers to this Polygon Supernets. So they changed their name. So just consider the Polygon Supernets and the Polygon Proof of Stake. They are the 2 live solutions. And then we've got Polygon Avail coming out, which is something big. And then we've got all of the zero knowledge solutions coming. So lots of things. All of this secured by Ethereum, which is the link between Polygon and Ethereum. Yeah, we'll talk about that again in a bit more detail as well. So let's talk about the main proof of stake chain that we're all very familiar with. Well, transaction speeds are very fast here. As you can see, 7,000 transactions per second, significantly faster than that of Ethereum. But also, there's a lot of people actually using this. There's 7,000 plus decentralized applications with millions of active users and over 130 million unique wallets. That is a lot of activity, and you can see this directly when you go and have a look at some of the metrics. You can see, just look at the transactions over the last 1 year. Whilst we've been in a bear market, they've still been above 2 million, a day. And if you just have a look at the actual users daily, and you can see in this chart in the middle, you can just see like generally over time we're trending upwards. And yes, this is the significant period of time where we've been in a bear market, yet somehow we've managed to continuously grow. And here you can see kind of the active addresses. Again, whilst it's been relatively stable, you have to remember that this has been in the bear market, and therefore that is quite impressive actually. You can see just clearly from the metrics that people do use Polygon, and there's lots of things to use the Polygon network for. All of this being on the proof of stake chain. And remember, if we just head back, there's lots more different chains that Polygon are working on at the moment. So just consider how much this can possibly scale. Now, the proof of stake Polygon network is actually on Ethereum. So there's only 100 validators though. So what you can do is you can take your Polygon or your Matic tokens and you can stake them. This is on the Ethereum network, and this is kind of where the kind of proof of stake ecosystem comes from. Currently, there's about 35% of the total supply of Matic that's staked here, so a fair amount, significantly more than that of Ethereum, but less from other chains. And you can see that there's only 100 validators. That is a bit of a concern, and that's one of the downsides for the actual Polygon network, is that it's kind of very centralized. Only 100 validators. I mean, you compare that to that of Ethereum, where there is, I can't remember the exact number, but I believe it's around 500,000 validators. So you just compare the difference. Ethereum, very decentralized, 500,000 validators. The Polygon network, only 100. So there is that blockchain risk in mind that you do have to consider. But you can see a lot of value staked, $4.5 billion worth of assets staked there, which is a significant portion of the market cap. And of course, that's all there to help secure the network. Let's talk about the next solution. This was previously known as Polygon SDK, but it's now called Polygon Edge and Supernets. Essentially, it is a it's a system that allows users, or most likely companies, to create their own custom blockchain. And who would actually want to do this? Well, we've seen a number of these DeFi apps, kind of move on from being on a certain blockchain like Ethereum or Cosmos, and basically create their own kind of app chain, you could say. DYDX is one example, and having your own blockchain does give you, a lot of benefits. Number one, you can use your actual native currency as gas fees rather than using the Matic token. You can have an entire network kind of dedicated to you. You can deploy the smart contracts and apps, and so because of that, it makes sense, especially for specific applications, to kind of have their own chain. And one of the benefits of using Polygon Edge is that you don't need to find any validators, no hosting validation costs or anything like that. The only thing is a bootstrapping cost, which is $400,000, which, yes, it is a fair amount, but that's just the cost involved. And these usually I'm going to expect as big businesses already that are going to use something like this. They can directly apply on the Polygon technology website. There's a whole form that you have to fill in, and in doing so, you're able to create your own EVM compatible custom blockchain. And so, that's just one of the solutions that they have available. Now in development, so yeah, they've only got these two solutions: the Polygon proof of stake chain that we're very familiar with, and the Polygon Edge. Now in development, there is a lot of stuff coming. We have Polygon ZK EVM, Polygon Zero, Polygon Maiden, Polygon Nightfall, and Polygon Avail. Lots of stuff coming, and what we're going to do now is just briefly talk about each of them. Now, to really appreciate them, we need to just kind of cover what zero-knowledge rollups are. Now, essentially, in order to help scale certain blockchains like Ethereum, there are currently two kind of rollups available at the moment. One of them that many of you will be familiar with, they are called optimistic rollups. Arbitrum and Optimism use optimistic rollups. Essentially, they batch transactions in one go. They send them off, assuming that they're valid, and then there's a challenge period after, lasting for a period of time in which any kind of faulty transactions or fraudulent transactions can be challenged. Zero knowledge rollups have a different system altogether. Essentially, they have these ZK kind of checkers who will basically offload, basically some of the transactions are offloaded off-chain, and these ZK checkers will perform validity checks on those to kind of see if they are valid or not. It's significantly more, I think it's better than optimistic rollups, because there isn't that kind of assumption that all transactions are okay. They're actually all checked. And I'll put a link in the description below to a video where you can learn more about zero-knowledge rollups. Essentially, they enable these transactions to be processed off-chain, so they're quicker, faster, more efficient as well. Now, I'll leave a link in the description to a video about them as well. So yeah, zero knowledge rollups use these ZK checkers, which will perform validity checks on the transactions off chain, and yeah, it helps with scaling the network. Now, Polygon ZK EVM is a zero knowledge rollup that is Ethereum compatible. The Ethereum virtual machine EVM compatible, which means that developers can easily move their applications from the Ethereum chain or from any other kind of EVM chain, Avalanche, Phantom, etc. Easily move them over, and it will be very, very easy for them to do so. And this is fantastic because we don't currently have a live thriving ZK roll-up chain at the moment. We have obviously Optimism and Arbitrum, but these are optimistic roll-ups, not zero-knowledge roll-ups. Yes, there are a few different companies making zero-knowledge blockchains, but none of them are live yet. And the great thing about Polygon ZK EVM is that it's going to be live pretty soon. The testnet is available right now, and I've seen thousands of users use it already. Polygon ZK EVM mainnet will be available early 2023. That's what I found on their website. So that is incredibly bullish, because if we get a rollup that's better than optimistic rollups, just consider kind of how much Arbitrum and Optimism have grown in the last 2 years. Imagine what Polygon ZK EVM can do. So that is going to be exciting, because that will really scale stuff a lot. We also have a few other kind of zero knowledge scaling solutions. Polygon Zero is actually their in-house zero knowledge kind of solution. They have developed this system called Plonky 2, which generates zero knowledge proofs faster than any other technology. So they've got some data on their website. 0.1 seconds to generate a zero knowledge proof, very small size as well. And this is basically tailored to reducing processing cost associated with kind of creating those transactions in batches. Polygon Maiden, again, another ZK rollup that they're working on. This one is Starked based, and essentially it's focused on security and scalability, Ethereum level security, with significant scaling, with 10,000 transactions per second. And 100 times lower fees than Ethereum. So yeah, that is an interesting one for sure as well. Next, we've got Polygon Nightfall. Again, this is another roll-up scaling solution that Polygon are creating. This one is a hybrid of both optimistic and ZK rollups, and it's really focused on privacy for enterprise. So we'll hopefully see that sometime soon as well. And then lastly, we have Polygon Avail. Now, Polygon Avail is not as far as I'm aware, it's not a ZK rollup or anything like that. Essentially, this is going to be a modular blockchain. And monolithic blockchains are the ones that we're all familiar with: Ethereum, Phantom, Arbitrum, etc. But modular blockchains, essentially, these 4 main areas: execution, settlement, data availability, and consensus, they, instead of focusing on all of them, rather they focus on one specific area. And that makes it much more efficient. It's something that Celestia is doing as well. And by the time you're watching this, I might have that video on the channel already. If not, it's coming pretty soon. There's a video on Celestia coming. And by creating a modular blockchain like this, Polygon Avail can really focus on data availability, and it uses something called random data sampling, which Celestia also uses, making it very hyper efficient. So it'll be interesting to see how this comes about and kind of what forms Polygon Avail take place in. But yeah, overall, lots of solutions. Currently, as I just mentioned, only the Polygon Proof of Stake and the Polygon, if we go back here, Polygon Edge is live, but all of these ones, these 5 kind of solutions, are coming pretty soon. With ZK EVM, probably the most exciting one. We're going to have very, very cheap fees on there, and in really significant scaling. So I'm really looking forward to that. Zero knowledge proofs, I think, is something that people have said is much better than optimistic rollups. So let's see how that goes. But it's going to be exciting to see. Early 2023. Yeah, we're in early 2023 right now. So That's exciting. Let's see when that comes about. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much all the scaling solutions. Next, we're going to talk about Polygon and their partners. And as you can see on screen, there are significant numbers of partners here. We have Disney, Stripe, NFL, MasterCard, Starbucks, Adidas, Donald Trump himself, Reddit, Adobe, Meta, and Instagram. And the Polygon business development team is probably one of the best in crypto. They're able to come up with these incredible partners. These are big, big billion-dollar companies. And, you know, the users from these companies coming to crypto and making seamless applications for these users to use is only going to increase over time. So I thought we'll just briefly talk about some of these partnerships. We first have Reddit. Reddit created these NFT based avatars. As far as I'm aware, there's 3 million plus users as well at the moment. So again, lots of people using these, and of course using the underlying Polygon technology. Of course, Meta have decided to pair up and support NFTs. We've seen this with Instagram as well, so you can mint, sell Polygon powered digital collectibles directly on Instagram. So yeah, we're seeing big NFT kind of collaborations here. Again, with the NFL as well, I believe they're going to create some sort of ticketing system which is going to be NFT based, again based on Polygon. Stripe have basically started crypto payments, and the first blockchain that they have supported, or they are going to support, or their platform will support, is the Polygon chain. So yeah, fantastic to see that as well. MasterCard have this Artist Accelerator program, which again is going to be crypto based, and again they're using Polygon there. One of the big ones that I thought was really interesting is the Starbucks Odyssey program, in which Starbucks customers will create these collectibles, which are again NFTs. They'll have achievements and all sorts of stuff. They'll have points, and they can do lots of interesting things. Again, all NFT based as well. So that will be, you know, another big market to explore. Adidas and Prada have decided to go into the kind of the metaverse with their digital clothing, and again, some of this is going to be based on Polygon. And so yeah, partnership wise, there really is a lot going on, and I think the Polygon business development team have proven that they can integrate with lots and lots of companies. We'll only see this continue, I think, especially as people learn more about crypto and people learn more about the amazing benefits that blockchain can offer. So yeah, already some fantastic big billion-dollar companies here. This is in a bear market as well, so who knows what's going to happen over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Exciting to see, and as something like Polygon grows, you're only going to expect this to grow as well. Now, next, let's talk about DeFi on Polygon. Here you can see that Polygon is ranked number 5 in terms of all chains. Lots of protocols built on Polygon, but TVL wise, it's still quite small, about 20 times smaller than that of Ethereum. Arbitrum recently overtook Polygon, and I think Arbitrum probably has more interesting, innovative DeFi stuff than Polygon does, but Polygon has been around for a while, and I thought we'll briefly just talk about some of the different applications on here. If you actually click on, I got this from DeFi Llama. If you actually click on it, you'll be able to see all of the different DeFi applications. As you can see, there's 360 that DeFi Llama are showing, and you've got some big staple names here as well. Aave, QuickSwap, Balancer, Uniswap, Curve. These are big names, as well as Beefy, Stargate, Sushi. These are big applications, also big on other chains. You could argue that Aave and Curve are some of the biggest applications in the world, and they have significant TVL here on Polygon. I think overall Polygon TVL is quite, it's not the best really. You can see that most of it is probably within the top 10. And as you go below that, the TVL kind of dwindles down a lot. So a lot of the value in DeFi on Polygon is within these specific applications. So yeah, I don't know what you want to make of that. Personally, for me, I think the Ethereum and Arbitrum DeFi ecosystem is significantly better. In fact, I'd say Ethereum and Arbitrum are the best, as well as Optimism. I think Optimism probably has a better DeFi ecosystem, even though there's less TVL than that of Polygon. But Polygon does have some interesting stuff, and I thought we'll just quickly talk about some of them as well. So first things first, let's talk about QuickSwap. As you can see here, it's the #2 application with $175 million of TVL. QuickSwap is, your Uniswap equivalent on the Polygon network. They have some interesting aspects to it. Of course, you can provide liquidity, farm. They have V2 and V3 as well. Buy and sell crypto with fiat, which is nice. So some nice on-ramps there. Again, it's just your usual decentralized exchange. I think QuickSwap is the #1 place where you'd go to basically swap your tokens. Gains Network, this is an interesting one. This has really exploded over the last year. Gains Network is a perp, basically a competitor to GMX, where you can use up to 150x leverage on a variety of crypto assets, but also non-crypto assets, and they have a few different stocks, and I believe they have some commodities as well. Don't quote me on that, but they definitely have some currencies as well. So a great place. TVL really growing recently. I believe Gains Network recently hit all-time high in its token price as well. Lots and lots of volume. I'm talking like millions and millions of dollars of volume here, and generating lots of fees as well. So Gains Network, really solid place if you're a trader. Tetu, having a variety of different vaults that users can deposit in, yield aggregators, and yeah, a good place there. KeyDAO, well, they have their own stablecoin called Mai. Lots of a place to basically borrow at 0% interest. So a very good money market here essentially. And then Gamma as well, which essentially has some active Uniswap positions as well. So you can make sure that your APRs are higher. So yeah, did just a few of the different applications. I definitely recommend just spending some time having a look at them and doing your own research there. I think overall, like I said before, DeFi on Polygon isn't the best. Ethereum, Optimism, and Arbitrum certainly outperform Polygon in terms of their DeFi ecosystem. Social identity is a big thing, and I think this is really where Polygon shines. I think one of the problems with social identity or some of these different applications, I'm talking about social media and kind of things like that, is that you can't really use an ecosystem like Ethereum. Transaction fees are still far too high, and so you really need somewhere where transaction per seconds are really, really high. So you got Lens Protocol, and Lens Protocol is one of the biggest ones. This is my Lens account. Lens Protocol is big, and that's because Lens Protocol allows you to create a profile like I've done here, wajahat.lens, and you can basically use this profile across any of the other applications that are built on top of Lens Protocol. So you've got Lenster, which is Lens version of Twitter. They have LensTube, which is Lens version of YouTube, and they have a variety of different social media platforms that are all building on top of Lens. Lens probably deserves a video, so I'll probably work on that sometime soon. But I think social identity is a big part. We're going to have decentralized Twitters, decentralized Instagrams, decentralized YouTube, decentralized Reddits. All of these different social media platforms will probably have some level of decentralization in the future. They probably will have Web3 equivalents. And Lens Protocol definitely leading the way. Lens Protocol is created by the founder of Aave, so it's no joke of a team as well, really. And they've built a really, really interesting platform there. Lenster is growing every single day, so I think Polygon is built on Polygon. Polygon's quite a natural place for it to grow, and I believe Lens Protocol have 100,000 users already. I mean Lenster, might be Lens Protocol actually. There might be 100,000 accounts already. I think that's going to continue to grow, and before you know it, we'll have 200, 300, 400,000 active users there. So Lens Protocol, big one on Polygon. Feeland is another kind of social identity platform where you can use your ENS domain and basically build on top of it with some showcasing some of your different achievements. I'll have a video on Feeland as well pretty soon. The social identity is somewhere where Polygon is thriving at the moment, and I think that's only going to continue at the moment. We've got clear evidence of that with Lens Protocol. NFTs are also a huge area where I think Polygon is thriving. Now, one of the recent events that have happened is the biggest NFT collection on Solana, the Gods and Utes. Well, they've decided to basically move away from Solana. Utes, these NFTs that you can see in the picture, they've got quite a high floor price. You know, this is, as of recording, you know, 100 Sol. This is like quite a fair amount. And, you know, you're talking $2,000-3,000. And these are moving to Polygon. So Polygon has obviously done some good partnerships there, and they're moving over there. There's also Avagotchi, but also some of the big programs, some of the big business development things that we talked about before with Adidas. Donald Trump with his own NFT collection. You know, what chain did he decide to build it on? Polygon. We've got Starbucks, you know, of course, Instagram deciding to work directly with Polygon and having all of their NFTs there. I think NFTs are really going to grow big on Polygon. We've got clear evidence of that here. Lots of stuff building on Polygon, and that will only grow. And you can see here, if you look at OpenSea Polygon monthly NFTs sold, it's up only. And, you know, what is that going to be like in 6 months to a year's time when there's even more stuff there? Probably 3-4 million, who knows. But this chart clearly looks like we're going up only, and so yeah, interesting to see how this changes over time. Now, in terms of Polygon's tokenomics, there is a total of 10 billion Matic tokens circulating, around 8.5 billion. So most of the supply circulating. There is still some that's vested and probably will come back over time. That gives it a market cap of around $10.5 billion. So that puts it, this is just a chart of its price. You know, it's performed very, very well in the last year. From the lows of June, it's 4x'd. So, you know, it shows, just goes to show that even though we're in a bear market, there are opportunities available, and anyone who's basically held Matic for the last 8 months has performed very, very well, really. And it's, you know, it seems like it wouldn't surprise me if we get to all-time high price, you know, sometime soon. Of course, I don't know, because we're still in a bear market and things can happen. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if we go minus 50% on Matic again. Who am I to know? I don't know what price is going to be like. Again, I can just give you the fundamentals and you can do your own research about what you think the price is going to do. I mean, I think it's clear to see that in the last year, the Polygon network has developed further. There's lots more interesting stuff, lots more being built. So overall, I'd say it's a more valuable ecosystem now than it ever has been. But does that always result in price appreciation? No. And so we have to just wait and see about that. Where does that put Polygon in terms of kind of all the other kind of crypto assets? Well, it's rank 10. You can argue that it's a bit of a joke that things like Dogecoin and Cardano are valued at higher, or valued higher. And even things like the Binance Smart Chain at 50 billion market cap. You know, Polygon's 5 times cheaper than that. And Polygon's 20 times cheaper than that of Ethereum. How much of that market share can it basically get to? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You could also argue that things like Cosmos ecosystem or Chainlink are kind of undervalued, but I mean, you can't really compare them as well. You know, Polygon and Solana are a good comparison, and them being both at equal value, I think it's clear to me which one has more value. So yeah, let's see kind of what the potential upside is for Polygon. You know, who knows really? We'll have to wait and see about that. One thing that I can show you is that the total number of Matic wallets over time is just up only. And yeah, I think Matic, or Polygon network, has a lot going for it. Now, I thought I'll share you some interesting things that I think could possibly go wrong for Polygon. Number one, the various different solutions that we talked about at the start of this video are still in development. And so, you know, we really are yet to see if ZK EVM, Polygon ZK EVM is going to work. We're yet to see if Polygon Maiden is going to work. We're yet to see if Polygon Nightfall is going to work. So we really need to wait for them to launch before we can see if they are successful or not. If they're not successful, then what does that show about Polygon? They've spent billions of dollars, years of time into this, and if it doesn't work, that's not a good look, really. And what we might see is that some of the other ZK competitors, like ZK Sync that I just mentioned, might do a lot better. So it's something to definitely consider. We've also got the big centralized risk with the Polygon proof of stake chain with only 100 validators. is there some element of blockchain risk? As I mentioned before, the DeFi ecosystem is pretty weak. I think Ethereum, Optimism, Arbitrum are significantly stronger there. And as I mentioned, the Ethereum ecosystem is much more developed. So why would you not just go for that option instead? I personally am a big ETH bull, and I think Ethereum has a lot more to grow really as well. Because Polygon is so deeply connected with Ethereum, is its future growth dependent on Ethereum's growth? I think that's another thing to consider as well. In addition to the fact that the price is 4 times up from the summer lows, you won't find many coins in the top 100, top 50 that are 4x up, up from the summer lows. So, I mean, yes, I've probably got some bias there, and I probably need to get rid of that bias, but it does play in my mind as well. And then lastly, the idea that Polygon will have lots of strong competition, and we'll definitely see that over time. There's lots of layer 1s, lots of layer 2s. I think on my list, there's 60 new ones coming out at the time of recording, and so some of those are going to perform very well. 60 new layer 1s and layer 2s. Some of them are going to do very well. Some of them are going to take market share away from Polygon as well. So lots of competition in the layer 1, layer 2 space. We'll have to see which ones come out on top. So overall, what do I think? I think Polygon is offering lots of solutions. ZK EVM, in my opinion, probably will be just as strong as Optimism and Arbitrum. I think the Matic token, the Polygon token, has significant value. It's used in gas fees, it's used in transaction fees, and so there is kind of incentive to hold it much more than that of the Optimism token, in my opinion. I think the business development team is probably better than most in crypto as well. And also, I think there's growing ecosystems, not only DeFi, which I think needs a bit of work, but also the NFTs and social identity categories, which are really growing, and we're seeing lots of innovation there. 20 times smaller market cap than Ethereum. How much of that market share can Polygon claim? I have no idea. Could it go up in price? Yes. Could it go down in price? Yes. Like I said, I'm not too sure what's going to go on with the price, but I think I've thought about kind of the rationale behind Polygon. I've thought about kind of what they're creating, what's going on in the ecosystem, and I like it. Now, let's see what happens in the near future. So that's all I've got for you today. I just wanted to cover Polygon in as much detail as I possibly could. I hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something. If you have any questions about anything, drop them down below. Follow me on Twitter. Follow my newsletter where I will publish stuff from time to time. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Honestly, every like and subscribe really helps the channel out. So please, please, please let me know if you've got any questions as I mentioned. And I'll be back with another video soon. Hopefully we'll cover some more interesting ecosystems, blockchains and products very soon.